Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Well, enough of playing, guys. I can clearly see that you guys have different choices when it comes to games. But now, let us tell everyone about your choice of gaming and how it is better than the other. So, hello viewers, I am Shivani and this is School of Thought. Well, you might have guessed our topic of debate for today from all the chaos happening earlier. Well, if not, then let me tell you that our topic of today's show is online gaming versus indoor-outdoor sports. We have with us today two group of youngsters. One of them call themselves Digital Nexus and the others are Squats Before Bots. So without wasting any more time, I will now ask the team Squats Before Bots to commence this debate.
We are the advocates today for the ageless fun and all-arounding health benefits that are provided by classical indoor and outdoor games. We contend real-time connections, social contact, and tactical experiences that are provided by the games we have chosen, which are priceless. Conventional indoor and outdoor games do not only provide mere amusement, but they provide a beyond more content, just like more ability to increase the physical ability of a person. They improve skill development and development in skills in an overall populace. Moreover, traditional games have continued to grow and also have left a great legacy in the past few years.
Okay, you guys, what do you have to say as an opening argument?
Today, we will be diving into the captivating world of online games, where pixels meet passion, and the virtual realms offer a variety of opportunities. Let's explore the numerous advantages of the digital landscape and what it brings to our lives. From the fostering of friendship to trust and enhancing our cognitive skills and providing a platform for borderless creativity.
I would like to say that traditional games and the outdoor and indoor games, sports, they enhance the physical fitness of the person. But the online games, people get addicted to it, and then they play it for 20 to 21 hours, and they forget to sleep or eat. This causes a huge impact on their health.
Addiction can be caused in any game, be it traditional, offline, or online. And as for health, well, it is up to us how we manage our time. I believe it is us who should know how to manage our time, and we should build a proper schedule so that we're able to handle both the things.
Addiction to the physical sports, like if we take example of cricket, basketball, your body gets worn out very quickly or after some time, then you have to take rest. But while playing online games, you have to sit there and just rest. So there is no hard work, and you can play it for 20 to more than hours, many hours, but you can't play a physical sport for more than 6 hours.
So
As
it's the will of the person whether he wants to play online games or not. That's one point. But how does he or she ensure that he is playing it in a limited time? So now we have apps for students like the Study Bunny, or many inbuilt features in apps like YouTube and Instagram, which enable people to put timers after which certain sound alarms or notifications will come on the screen, will display on the screen for the user to prevent them from exceeding the time limit of usage.
But still, we know that the online games, these game studios design their games to be more addictive, use their eyeballs as advertisement, and these studios don't care about what happens to the player's physical, mental, and social health. So I think we as people must first establish that online games do cause harm. And to back up my statement, I have a statistic from the American Psychiatric Association which says that 3 to 4% of online gamers are currently addicted. which may seem a small number, but mind that there are 2 billion active online gamers in 2022, and that number is likely higher right now. And so that means almost 60 million people are suffering from gaming disorders.
So, you said 2 billion gamers. This directly shows that online games are much more common and popular in the youth.
Yes, I agree that they are more engaging and they are more popular. But you can't do something that is more popular but harmful. You opt
Right.
for the thing that is less harmful. You don't as we say in Hindi, अगर सब लोग कुएं में कूदेंगे तो हम भी थोड़ी कूदेंगे.
Yeah, we are just
He,
going
he
by
had
the
a
crowd.
point. Yes, yes, go ahead.
Like as you mentioned that they made them more addictive, but let me tell you one thing about addiction, that addiction is caused by the mind of a person. It depends on the person or what he's addicted to. A person might addicted to studying, a person might addicted to sweet foods, while a person is addicted to video games. It is totally their choice and they enjoy it. And in your previous mention that gamers forget to eat and sleep, and they play for continuous 21 to 22 hours, and whereas in sports they get tired out, but if they don't eat or sleep they will feel sleepiness, they will feel hungry, they will obviously leave the screen and enjoy some moment with the family. And if that is not being done in some gamers, we games have also introduced parental control. They have introduced so that after a few hours the game will shut down automatically.
So here you are talking about the restrictions which nowadays games are opting more often, but you can't ignore the fact that there are numerous. I mean, all the games have somewhat of age limit in their whenever we download it from any Play Store or anything. But we have seen like many youngsters, even all of us somehow have done it. We ignore the age limit and download those games which are not supposed to be exposed to us. And I don't think there is any restriction or verification done whether who is downloading, whether it be a teenager who should not be exposed to that game. And I don't think if the youth is ignoring this important fact, how can they keen for the learning part of a game instead of just using it for an enjoyment purpose and for time pass?
Yes, according to him, like I would say that if we install a game, then we just take all the terms and condition, and if there's an age limit, we put it our father's date of birth or my mother's date of birth. I used to do it. I agree, but that's how a thing starts.
How the addiction is starting.
बूंद बूंद से सागर बनता है.
Like they have to pass a single test for smallest things. How can they grow up on their own? They will not able to understand what they have to do on their own. They will have to get instructions every single time.
You said that you can opt for face IDs and all, but there is the fact that I think that the gaming industry is just like a business. The gaming industries and the model of all of the apps are just just coded for inviting more players and get addicted to it for their own profit, ignoring the fact that the youth is going through many bad consequences because of them. Also, the gaming community would not put such restrictions, and I mean more restrictions, because they have to earn some profit. And if they put such restrictions, obviously their reach will only get decreased.
So, even in normal outdoor or indoor traditional games, companies aim to gain profit. India has gained a lot of profit from leagues like IPL League, which is a cricket league, and football leagues. This is to increase the income of a country, and even traditional sports act as a way of increasing the income of a country. Now, moving on to another point, these online games prevent injuries which are caused to the players. Usually, offline games are the reason behind injuries which many people receive.
Ignoring the fact that online games don't cause any type of injury, but how can you forget that they have a very disturbing mental attack on the players? And so I have one example for that. In the past few days, a report from Rajasthan came which told that a boy who was very addicted to on mobile games, which were like action genre games. So in the aggressive and impatience that he has gained from the addictionness, what he did was that after losing a game, he was so impatient and aggressive in his mind, he lost the mind control, and he was he was sent to a special hospital for treatment.
If
And
we are
talking
talking
about
about
injuries,
They
What?
cause long-term problems.
Yeah.
Or
They cause
even
if you're
trauma.
permanent
talking about
problems, like
real life violence, you're hypothetically typically saying that violent games, action games, cause the youth to learn about violence. But violence, there is no such much evidence about this that video games cause real life violence. Real life violence usually depends on the community and the parents and the people they're living with. It is possible that the
No, it actually develops a violent streak in
Yeah.
them.
Hmm.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah,
but
that
if
is what
they
I
are
It does not
living
cause
with
violence.
if they are living with violent parents
Mhm.
and they're playing calm games, they still be violent. It depends on parents usually and the people they live with.
Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
talking
Generally,
about
the
injuries.
ratio of number of parents who are aggressive and the number of children playing aggressive games is much higher. If you play like we have PUBG, BGMI, all those games, almost 20% of the children play them, and if we include all the games that are aggressive, almost 50% of the children would play, but only like 5 to 10% of parents are aggressive.
Also,
So the ratio.
also the games he quoted, BGMI and PUBG and some more examples. This is the reason because of their, the flow they are creating, the influence they are creating on the youth and their discontents. That is why the government has banned them in the previous years.
Yes.
And
This
that
was the
games
only
also
reason.
lure children to spend money on their in-game purchases, which many children. There was a case in Delhi that a children spent lakhs of rupees from his mother's account on PUBG and such online games, which also causes financial distress in the
Right,
family.
what do you have to
about
say on
that?
that?
and
When he
parents
Yes.
said
are
the
Okay, okay,
government
let
banned
him give
BGMI
the point.
for addiction,
Mhm.
I don't think it was for addiction. I think it was more for winning the support of our older population. And
How can you say that?
ma'am, because it came with the ban of TikTok in India and
Okay.
many other Chinese
Chinese
apps.
apps.
Mhm.
Because BGMI still remains and it's basically PUBG. Free Fire still remains and it's basically a copy of PUBG.
But the
the
government
government
banned
didn't
PUBG.
ban them.
Because the government have put in restrictions on that game, so they have to develop it more for the youth of India.
These games help us to play, these games enable us to play games without the interaction of humans. Many times getting enough teammates to play certain traditional games becomes an obstacle in playing these games. And the second obstacle which comes in between is the need for a large area or need for the equipment to play these games.
And this is where inclusiveness comes in the traditional game, because there are various indoor games also, just like we were playing before, cards and all. There are chess is the
Chess,
very
Ludo.
very good game, which also increases the critical thinking of a person.
So online games helps us play anytime that we want with anyone around the world. So there are two benefits of it. First is the cultural exposure that we receive or get from playing with different people from different continents and countries. Second of all, we have time flexibility. We can play it in the morning or evening. We do not really need to
But
occupy.
that in turn makes you indisciplined.
Online
Canada,
games, they
you have
can be
to-
global, but they do not allow to form a personal, tangible connection
Yeah.
with the
Yes.
people.
Are they
The
trustworthy?
bond you have with your parents.
You never know who is
Connections
sitting
are-
behind the screen.
As he mentioned that they design the game to be more addictive.
Yes.
Can I know how they design to make it more? How are you saying that it is designed more addictive?
They
Yes.
add in-game purchases. They add also many special items that people tend to work for in the game, and they strive to get those items in the game. So they spend immense amounts of time staying in bad posture, having screens 30
Sedentary.
centimeter away from their eyes, spending most of their time in games, and also which does not allow them to study, and they evade from their educational priorities.
They give
When you
tasks
say
such as
in-game
if you
purchases, most games with in-game purchases are free games. So like, if a person doesn't have money to buy a real game, he would go to free games. And in those free games, if you do have money, you can spend the money.
But
to
to
For a
play-
free game, you require a
you-
gadget.
you-
Spend
and
money
if-
from
if,
their
as you
parents'
said that-
account, unknowing of them.
most of the championships are
Happen online.
offline, but
Many
they
online.
also
Many-
happen
many
online.
online.
Yes.
See, I have a
Because
if you're
it is
saying
much
that-
more easier to hold them online cost free, and it prevents time wastage.
So if you're
In
saying that chess
transportation.
is addictive, then making chess online doesn't make it even more addictive.
Yeah. It is available anytime. I can just open my phone and play it. But to play it offline, I require a person or something
My friends.
else.
Also
And
society.
friends.
Also,
society.
if you play chess offline, you can guess the person's strategies and read the mind.
You can
or-
This
make
will only
bonds
make
with
the
them.
critical thinking more.
Yes.
In online chess, you
You
never
can
know who is
face
sitting
read
behind the
Yeah.
screen. Is it a real person or any fake?
And that also leads to cyberbullying, which is my next
Yes.
point. That in
Yes.
online games, people sit behind the screens and they have no responsibility whatsoever. So they say mean things to provoke the other person, and which can cause a very deep effect on the other person's mental
There is
health.
a-
They think
Bullying happens in normal games too.
Yeah. Again,
Yeah,
in
but
traditional
Fights
games,
happen. Actual fights
Yeah,
happen.
exactly.
In normal
Fights
games.
can happen,
which
but-
cause injuries, which cause a lot of injuries, and these are the reason behind bullying, which occur in school and many suicide cases. So it is not only related to online games; it is also a problem which is faced by traditional games.
So you said that bullying also happens in offline games and outdoor and indoor sports. But when bullying happens in outdoor and indoor sports, at least the culprit is held accountable.
Yeah.
What about in
It is
online?
easy
And in a lot of
easy to
cases,
find a
they are
culprit.
That's a good point.
games.
Yes.
Almost every game has a chat feature.
Yes.
And many people say rubbish things, abuse them, so that the जो सामने वाला इंसान होता है उसको
Influence हो
थोड़ा
जाता है।
इन्फ्लुएंस हो जाए, उसका कॉन्फिडेंस गिर जाए, वो फिर जो होते हैं वो उसी के बारे में सोचते रहते हैं पूरा मैच, ताकि वो जीत जाए.
जो है games, they have made censorship. So like whenever someone say abusive words, it censors it. So
Eliminates.
they have no idea what they're saying.
You know,
First of all, and
most
there are
games
many
have
languages in India. They can censor English, they can censor Hindi, but there are many languages. I guess 256 something. You can't censor everything. You can't say to the computer that this is abusive word in Bhojpuri. This is a abusive
और
word
आप
in
कितना ही
Gujarati.
बैन कर
as you
लोगे,
mentioned,
ऑफलाइन में आप
let's-
एक गेम बैन करोगे,
हाँ.
दूसरी गेम लोग VPN लगा के खेल लेंगे.
हाँ.
What about that?
There is
Let's
easy
say-
replaceability.
we have vanguards. Vanguards basically, like for example, there's a game Valorant, and if you abuse, you can report the player. And as you have said that they cannot live without games, and as soon as you report a player who is being abusive, they will get banned.
They will
From-
create another account.
No,
Also-
that's the creative thing. They will not be able to download the game on their computer.
The online games industry has grown 28% over 3 years and contributed INR 16,428 crores in the year 2023, whereas traditional games contributed rupees only 14,000 crores.
Because it
And
was the
when
COVID
compared-
period, right?
Sir, when
Let me
compared,
complete the
sir, when compared with the time from which traditional games have been played and the time from which these online games have been played. Online games came into existence only a few decades back, whereas traditional games have been there for thousands of centuries. You can find the mentions of chess and many other games even in the tombs of pharaohs in Egypt.
I have a stat. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, they stated that in the past 1 decade, that's 10 years, the screen time has increased by 62.2% of the age bracket 10 to 18 years.
Also, I also have a statistics that in the previous year, the global viewership of online esports was about 500 million in total, 500 million users. But if we see in traditional sports, all the World Cups and all, the total amount of global viewership was more than 2 billion.
NCIB of America, it states that extended gaming time sessions, children have disturbed sleep patterns and they cannot sleep properly, which has a toll in
good
their
point.
mental health.
What do you have to say on
Well,
that?
mental
Yes,
and
you
physical health can be harmed in offline games as well. As you might be aware, corruption and nepotism is very, very common in offline games, right? And as for mental health, as you might know, a lot of times what happens is when you don't get selected in a team or when your team loses or something happens.
But it does have its positives as well when it comes to outdoor games.
There are
What
many
positives
alternatives
do you
also.
have
Online
other
games
than
are
entertainment?
Let's
Other
take
than interest, what else?
That's
do
it.
you
Let's
have?
take
Job
a-
opportunities, careers, and like money making careers.
Yeah, job
talking about
opportunities
careers,
is one.
talking about
Okay.
careers.
Yes.
Also,
you
like
tell me.
also studies. Like for example, let's take aeronautical engineering.
Okay.
There have been games which have
Like
the
global space program.
which have the system in which you can learn aeronautical
While playing games.
But
Yes.
their viewership
Yes, I've
is
also heard about
way
it.
less
Yeah.
than those
That
of
is for
action
mature
and all.
people.
Yeah.
It's actually
What about
really popular
children
game.
6 or
It's
7 years
really
old?
popular, and even 10 to 11 years old, a few of them play this game.
Few of
We all know that many countries have many culture and traditional essence. So just like that, India also has some culture and traditional essence on which various games are made. right? See, so the influence of online games are just detaching the people from the cultural
Good point.
essence.
Yes,
and-
agree.
Yeah.
And I
How do you
also
counter
want
that?
And I also want to say one stat that in the COVID time, when they were
Okay, guys.
And there
Now
are stuff
concluding
like-
statements. Concluding statements. What would you like to say in conclusion?
To sum up our previous contention, it is best to say that investing time in online games is much more beneficial
And
to
hard work.
develop cognitive abilities than playing and investing time in offline traditional games.
Okay, what do you have to say? Conclusion.
See, physical games, they offer more longevity. And in conclusion, I think playing outdoor and indoor games, they allow a person to be more physically active in the long term. And rather than online games, physical games also allow social interpersonal interactions, which allow people to have good social well-being, also physical health and mental health.
Also, they still remain the populace. As the technology is changing, obviously,
Yes.
online gaming will be in the future. There will be more online gaming in the future, but we can't
Leave our
deny the
roots.
pros and cons of them. We have all debated about it, but still, at this moment of time, traditional games remain more popular and more beneficial to the youth, because of also the lockdown period has made a negative impact on the youth. So
It has
to make it to resume the old fashioned and old healthier population, we should embrace more traditional games.
So, after hearing all of their opinions, I'd like to end by saying that it is important for us to weigh the options and then make the right call. As online gaming and video games are the demand of today's rapidly changing times and technology, but sports will always play a crucial part in your life when it comes to personal and mental health. So, on that note, this is Shivani signing off for now. But we will be back with another interesting topic and a lot more young energy in the next edition of School of Thought.